Hello everyone.
In today's video, we will talk about the causes, prevention, and solutions for altitude sickness. In recent years, the number of people traveling to South America has steadily increased, especially in Peru, where most archaeological sites are located. At high altitudes, I have often seen how trips that should be a wonderful experience turn into true nightmares due to altitude sickness. I was very saddened to learn that, just in the year 2024, two Korean travelers suffered unexpected accidents because of this problem. That's why I decided to make this video, to share with you what I have learned during my years of work as a local guide in Peru, and thus help you enjoy your travels in South America in a safer and more pleasant way. I had already covered this topic in 3 parts, but thanks to a subscriber's suggestion, today I present it all in a single video. Additionally, you will find a lot of useful information for your trip to Peru. So I would appreciate your like and your subscription. Altitude sickness or cirrhosis. It occurs when the body cannot adapt properly to high altitudes, generally above 2,500 meters. Its severity depends on the health of each person, the altitude reached and the speed at which one ascends. The most common symptoms include headache, nausea, fatigue, and vomiting. Muscle discomfort may also occur, feeling of cold or nasal bleeding. In severe cases, it can lead to pulmonary or cerebral edema. So prevention is essential. If the symptoms are severe, the most important thing is to seek help immediately and descend to a lower altitude. Under normal conditions, the concentration of oxygen in the air is approximately 20.9%, while nitrogen makes up 78%. In Cusco, the partial pressure of oxygen is only 66% of what it is in Lima. This means that, even if you perform the same activity, the amount of oxygen that reaches the blood and muscles decreases drastically, causing shortness of breath and fatigue. When ascending too quickly, the body does not have enough time to adapt, increasing the risk of altitude sickness. For example, Jorge Chavez Airport in Lima is about 50 meters above sea level, and after a flight of just 1 hour and 20 minutes, one lands in Cusco at 3,400 meters. For many travelers with no previous experience at high altitude, this sudden change poses a great physical challenge. I have met people who, after visiting Jungfraujoch in Switzerland, the roof of Europe, thought they wouldn't suffer from altitude sickness. But upon arriving in Cusco, they were in for a big surprise. The difference is that in Europe, one gradually ascends by train, whereas in Peru the change is sudden. Physical fitness, health, and genetic factors also have a significant influence. People with heart or respiratory diseases should consult a doctor before traveling and plan their itinerary well. At high altitude, respiratory rate and diuresis increase, which causes dehydration. This thickens the blood and hinders the transport of oxygen, worsening the symptoms. That's why it's essential to stay hydrated constantly to prevent altitude sickness. One must rest enough and avoid intense efforts. However, travelers on organized tours often have very tight itineraries, which increases fatigue. Arriving without prior acclimatization and following a rigid program can be dangerous. Fortunately, many hotels in Cusco provide oxygen masks, which help to quickly relieve symptoms. Essential tips for acclimatization: gradually ascend. Ideally, increase altitude slowly. Above 2,500 meters, it is not recommended to sleep at an altitude more than 300,500 meters higher than the previous day. It is preferable to spend the night at a lower altitude. Although during the day one ascends more, every 3 days, it is advisable to rest for a whole day. To allow the body to adapt, drink between 3 and 4 liters of water a day, avoiding alcohol and caffeine, which are diuretics. At high altitude, the body utilizes carbohydrates better, so a light and easily digestible diet rich in cereals, fruits, and vegetables is recommended. Always consult your doctor before taking any medications. The most commonly used medication is acetazolamide diamox, which helps with acclimatization to high altitudes. It should be taken at least 12-24 hours before reaching high-altitude areas. In Peru, it is common to find Saroche pills, which contain aspirin and caffeine. They relieve symptoms such as headaches and fatigue, but they can irritate the stomach, so they are not suitable for everyone. The safest and most effective method remains prescription acetazolamide. In Peru, it is customary to chew coca leaves or drink coca tea. These leaves contain vitamins and aid digestion. Although their effect against altitude sickness is mild, and not comparable to that of a medication. Physical control and rest. If you feel tired, stop and rest. Sleeping well is vital. Avoid smoking, as it reduces lung capacity. Stay calm, because anxiety can also worsen the symptoms. If the lips or nails turn dark, it indicates a severe lack of oxygen. Descend immediately or seek help with an oxygen tank. The guides must ensure to accompany the affected traveler to a lower place, such as Urubamba, where there are hotels with oxygen available. Anyone can suffer from altitude sickness, even young and healthy people. In fact, based on my experience, travelers under 50 are often more vulnerable than those over 70, because older adults know their limits better and moderate their effort, while young people tend to overexert themselves. Remember, altitude sickness is not related to physical strength. That's why you should always consult your doctor before traveling. If you have any pre-existing condition. Now I will share a method without medications, based on my personal experience. It consists of controlling your breath with each step. When you step forward with your left foot, exhale, and with your right foot, inhale. This rhythm regulates breathing and improves oxygen supply. More than 90% of my travelers who practiced this technique enjoyed their trip without medication. It also helps to maintain concentration, whether taking photos, contemplating the landscape, or listening attentively to the guide. The first night in Cusco is usually the hardest. However, when descending to Urubamba 2,800 meters, approximately the height of Mount Baekdu of North Korea, the symptoms improve significantly. From Urubamba, the journey to Machu Picchu is easier. You take a 30-minute bus to Ollantaytambo, and then a train for 1 hour and 30 minutes to Aguas Calientes, at just 1,900 meters above sea level. Upon arriving there, altitude sickness practically disappears. Once acclimatized, even when returning to Cusco or Urubamba, the symptoms will no longer be as intense. I am sure that if you apply these tips, and coordinate your breathing with each step, they will be able to fully enjoy their trip. On my channel, you will find many contents about the time of the Inca Empire and its legacy, which you can enjoy even without a guide. I wish you a safe, healthy trip full of discoveries. And don't forget subscribe and leave your like. See you in the next video.